The showdown is not meant to cause offense or harm. The viewer acknowledges any reliance on the accuracy or completeness of said content should be done at their own discretion. The host apologizes in advance for any affront as a result of personal attacks.
No way. DeRo's already agreed with me on peak Hall of Famer, so there will be no personal attacks this time around. You are in the circle of trust. You're right there. Cardinals are 27-40. You're saying it's time to deal. Tell me your philosophy.
I'm saying usually around the 40-game mark, the manager will call a meeting and say, hey, names on the back of the jersey say it's time to go, boys. Mm-hmm. When you start getting close to 70 games, you kind of are who you are. You can get super hot. It just is not coming together for the St. Louis Cardinals. For whatever reason, I think it started at jump. Ali Marmol kind of lost the room. Whether we know the in-depths of the Tyler O'Neill situation or the Jordan Walker situation.
So what are you saying?
I'm just saying you have we've watched teams for years go young position players.
But what are you doing? All right, you're in charge. What are you doing?
I'm walking up to Nolan Arenado and I'm just entertaining the idea of if it keeps going south, do you want to stay or do we want to potentially put you out there? You and Paul Goldschmidt, you and Adam Wainwright, Wilson Contreras, because you have Gorman, Wynn, Walker, Donovan.
You're loaded with position players. Yeah.
And you go sign some pitchers.
By the way, I'd like to push back on this, but since you presented it this morning, I'm like, no, you're right. Goldie's 35, 2 years, $50 million. Arenado's 32, 5 years, $140 million. You add those two with Wainwright, that's $78 million out of your $200 million payroll.
Wilson Contreras on there, too.
All right, but that might be, you could make that move,
you're sitting here right now. You got
That's half your payroll.
86, 87 wins to try and get in, win the division or try and get in wild card. They have to go 60-35.
So you're saying, I know, but my one pushback, you're right.
They're not doing that with that starting rotation as currently constructed.
I didn't know you went to Ray's finishing school. That's quite good. It's ruthless. In the real world, can you do it? If you're John Mozeliak and you're in St. Louis and you're putting fannies in seats, because the season's not over, by the way.
They're always putting fannies in seats.
Okay.
And they could fall in love with a young core.
Okay.
Listen, somebody's got to be the next Goldschmidt and Arenado. Could it be Gorman, Walker?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ruthless, but you're probably right. Yeah, actually, you are right. All right, I was watching you earlier this morning, and I saw you use malaise. That's my favorite. We have malaise watch in the National League. Do you see the definition of malaise? Can we pop that up there? Because we have the Cards, the Padres, and the Mets. And I'm watching them, and normally, my sabermetric training, I'm looking at overall production. Like, stop with this chemistry stuff. But there's a lack of sharpness with these clubs, isn't there? I see it with the Mets closely. I'm not watching as closely with the Padres, but they used to be mentally sharp. I don't see that this year.
I think there's moments. Listen, the game will always be won and lost by the players. The manager can kind of have his hands in 2 or 3 wins, in my opinion, maybe a little bit more. But I think there's moments where you win the boys or you lose the boys. And I think there's been opportunities here with the Mets, especially with the baby Mets, where there's been this loyalty to some of these veterans, the Vogelbachs, the Escobars, all those. And it's just time. It's just time.
I'm all ready. Okay.
I think it's time for the young guys to get the ABs and kind of put some life into it. But that being said, I never believed that you win a division with your offense. It's not your lineup. You have hitched your wagon to a 38-year-old and a 40-year-old starting pitcher. Yep. That's who you are. So you got to get to October. If you get in, you can win the whole thing. But I don't know if you're getting there.
Those two and Lindor take $120 million of the payroll. Of course, the payroll is almost limitless. You'll like this, though. I try to measure sharpness with base running runs and defensive runs saved, because that's where your effort can come to the fore. Take a look at what this now. You might get fooled here because you see the Padres. Oh, Padres base running is actually excellent, plus 7.4. Defensive runs saved, plus 15. That's excellent. No, but you know why? Ha-Seong Kim is plus 16 on his own. The rest of the team is below league average. Mets -6, Phillies -19, Cardinals -21 defensively, and they're not running the bases well. So if you're not running well, you're not defending. Well, you're not a good baseball team. You can look like a good team on paper, but you're not a good team on the field.
Listen, I knew who I was as a player every day of the week. So, I come from a great place thinking every big leaguer. But if the expectation is that Verlander and Scherzer were going to get on a run. Last year combined, they're 29-9 with a sub-2. Yeah. This year, they have not given you close to that. And then what do you have supporting that? Carrasco, McGill, Peterson,
And that ain't happening.
It ain't happening in today's landscape.
But even so, they're not even
and no
scoring
Edwin
the same
Diaz.
runs. Where's no right?
Ottavino and Robertson are about tapped out.
There's also,
they've been used so much.
Where's malaise? I want a definition of malaise because I saw it's not there anymore. All right.
You want pods? There we go.
There it is. Fine. General feeling of discomfort, illness, or uneasiness, whose exact cause is difficult to identify. We all know the feeling, by the way. It's not like you don't feel a little malaise.
I think there's a malaise in San Diego because I think A.J. Preller gave Bob Melvin a ton of athletes, all shortstops, and then just here disperse and we'll figure it out. Talent-wise. I think it takes a minute fundamentally to play as a unit like that.
That's a good point. Yep.
Also, Manny Machado, first 50 games last year, he was hitting .350 with 8 and 30 and 1,000 OPS, and we were talking about MVP. This year, he's gotten off to a slow start. They kind of go through him.
Yeah.
So I think once he gets going.
Well, the one guy, though, I think there is a cohesion that's difficult to identify that comes in relays, that comes, how many bases do you gain, how many do you give away, that these teams with the melees is not quite there. It's more malaise, yeah. I like melees because I'm waylaid. I'm melees.
There's no winners in this.